Think about your boss, or think about a manager you've had in the past. Chances are, they were not very good at their job. Maybe they were indecisive. Maybe they micromanaged you. Maybe they had absolutely no idea how the daily operations of the company actually worked, yet they were the ones in charge of telling you what to do. You probably assumed they were just stupid, or maybe you thought they were evil. You sat at your desk and wondered, how did this person get here? Who hired them? Why are they in charge? The answer is not that the system is broken. The answer is that the system is working exactly as designed. That incompetent boss is not an anomaly. They are a statistical inevitability. They are a victim of a sociological law called the Peter Principle. And if you aren't careful, you are going to end up exactly like them. Welcome back. Today we are going to explore why every hierarchy eventually destroys itself, and why your career ambition is a trap that will lead you to a state of permanent, miserable incompetence. To understand why your workplace is a disaster, we have to look at a theory published in 1969 by a sociologist named Lawrence J. Peter. It was meant to be a satire, but it ended up being one of the most accurate observations of human organizational behavior ever written. The principle states, in a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. Let me explain how this works. It is terrifyingly simple. Imagine a guy named Steve. Steve is a software engineer. He is an amazing coder. He writes clean code, he solves problems fast, and he is the best engineer on the team. Because Steve is so good at coding, the company wants to reward him. They want to give him more money and more status. So, they promote him. Steve is now a senior engineer. He is still coding, but now he has a bit more responsibility. He crushes it. He is excellent. So the company promotes him again. Now Steve is a manager of engineering. Here's the problem. Coding and managing are two completely different skill sets. Coding requires logic, isolation, and technical depth. Managing requires empathy, communication, conflict resolution, and political maneuvering. Steve is a genius at logic. He is terrible at people. Suddenly, Steve starts struggling. He stops doing the thing he was good at, coding, and starts doing a thing he is bad at, meetings. He becomes stressed. He becomes a micromanager because he doesn't trust his team. He becomes a bottleneck. Now, pay attention to what happens next. Because Steve is now doing a bad job, the promotions stop. He doesn't get promoted to director. He doesn't get promoted to VP. He stays as a manager. And he stays there. Forever. He has reached his level of incompetence. He will remain in that role, doing a mediocre job, frustrating his employees, until he either retires or dies. Now, multiply Steve by every single person in your company. The sales guy who was great at selling but terrible at strategy. He got promoted until he became a strategy director, failed, and stuck there. The teacher who was great with kids but terrible at administration. She got promoted to principal, failed, and stuck there. Dr. Peter's conclusion was grim. In time, every post tends to be occupied by an employee who is incompetent to carry out its duties. If you look around your office, or your government, or your school, and you feel like nobody knows what they are doing, you are right. They used to know what they were doing in their previous job. That's why they got the new job. And now they are trapped. This creates a paradox. If everyone eventually rises to a level where they are useless, how does any work actually get done? The work is done by the people who have not yet reached their level of incompetence. The work is done by the people at the bottom of the ladder who are still climbing, or the people who are new to their role and haven't been promoted out of it yet. Civilization is carried on the backs of the people who haven't been rewarded yet. So, why do we do this? Why do we structure society this way? It comes down to a fundamental flaw in how we view success. We view success as a vertical line. Up is good, down is bad. Stagnation is failure. We assume that if you are good at job A, you deserve job B, even if job B requires completely different talents. We treat management as a reward for being a good worker, But management isn't a reward. It's a different profession. It's like taking your best calm, steady heart surgeon and saying, "Wow, you are so good at surgery. We are going to make you the hospital PR director." You lose a great surgeon, and you gain a terrible PR director. Everyone loses. But the scariest part of the Peter Principle isn't what it does to the company. It's what it does to you. You are currently on a conveyor belt. You are working hard. You are trying to impress your boss. You want that promotion. You want that raise. You are chasing your own doom. If you are lucky, you will get promoted. And then you will get promoted again. And eventually, you will land in a job that makes you miserable, a job that you are not equipped for, and a job that exposes your weaknesses every single day. And once you are there, you can't go back. Have you ever seen a manager say, "You know what? I'm not good at this. Can I go back to being a junior employee with half the salary?" No, because of ego, because of lifestyle inflation. You get used to the money, you get used to the title, so you cling to the position that you are bad at. You become defensive. You start blaming your team. You start hiding your mistakes. This is the birth of the toxic boss. They aren't toxic because they are evil. They are toxic because they are insecure. They know deep down that they are drowning, and they are terrified you will find out. So, is there a solution? Or are we all destined to become incompetent hacks? Lawrence Peter proposed a few solutions. One of them is what he called creative incompetence. This is the art of deliberately sabotaging yourself just enough to avoid getting promoted. You do your core job perfectly. You are excellent at the actual work, but you manufacture a small, harmless flaw that makes you unpromotable. Maybe you dress slightly unprofessionally. Maybe you have a messy desk. Maybe you forget to file unimportant paperwork. Maybe you openly refuse to attend social mixers. You signal to the hierarchy, "I am a great worker, but I am not management material." By doing this, you stop the conveyor belt. You get to stay in the job where you're actually happy, the job where you're actually competent. You avoid the trap. But this is hard to do. It requires fighting against your own ego. It requires fighting against the social pressure that says, if you aren't growing, you are dying. We live in a culture that worships the grind. We are told that we must always be leveling up. But the Peter Principle teaches us that leveling up often means leveling down in happiness and utility. There is a dignity in knowing what you are good at and refusing to leave it. There is a power in saying, "I am a master at this specific thing, and I do not want to manage the people who do this thing." But most people won't do that. Most people will take the money. Most people will take the title. And so, the world will continue to be run by people who are confused, overwhelmed, and unqualified. So the next time you are in a meeting and your boss says something completely stupid, don't get angry. Have some sympathy. You are looking at a person who was once a star. You are looking at a person who was once great at something. And now, they are just a living example of a flaw in the human operating system. And be careful, because if you work hard enough, and if you are successful enough, one day that idiot is going to be you. See you in the next one.